Hi everyone. Today I'm going to review the Kaplan videos and lecture notes as promised for the USMLE Step 1 board exam. So I started watching the Kaplan videos January 24th. It was the very first thing I did. And I watched them from 2 to 6 p.m. I took care of the baby in the morning, and so this was my time. What I did was I would watch the videos from 2 to 6, and as I was watching, I would take notes in Kaplan's lecture notes so that if I had to reference it later, I can just go straight to my notes and I knew what they had said in the video. So I didn't watch it 2 times. I just watched it once and took notes as I watched it the very first time. Like I said, I did not read the lecture notes. I took notes, and if I came across a question in the USMLE World Question Bank that I didn't understand or it wasn't explained properly, the objective of the question, then I would go back to my lecture notes and see if they mentioned anything in the Kaplan videos. So first off, I'm going to show you my score. I'm going to try to cover my personal information here. But there it is, my 213.90. Very proud. And this is the breakdown of how I did. Every time I talk about a subject, I'm going to show you how I did, and so you can go from there. So I started watching the behavioral science videos, which are very light and very interesting and very fun, and they're very short. And so it was good, and I learned a lot from them that I hadn't gotten, information I didn't get here in medical school in Costa Rica. So I did pretty well in behavioral science. It's the very first one. And in general, I can say that the Kaplan videos are sufficient for step 1. Then I did biochemistry. Everybody's worst nightmare. Biochemistry was very interesting, but I felt like I knew nothing about medicine. It stressed me out. As soon as I started this material, I felt like I wasn't prepared, that I wasn't prepared well enough in medical school, that it was just very stressful. So just stick with it. It's the hardest subject, and just because you feel that it's your weakest subject, this would be because it's the hardest subject. So biochemistry was also one of my lower ones. It's the third one from the top. No, second one. And I did get into the lower performance with biochem. It's very hard. Genetics, I remember the older man who does the genetics videos is kind of boring, and so it's kind of a drag to get through them, but in general I would say that they're very good, and I did learn a lot from them, but I didn't get very hard questions in genetics, so I did pretty well in genetics. So it's the third one. So I did okay. Microbiology is amazing in the Kaplan videos. I loved it. I learned tons. There's a couple of people that do those videos. The woman, I can't remember her name. She's actually very, very good. And the one that has like the little stuffed animals of the bacteria and stuff. And she's very funny and very good. I did pretty well, I think. I did okay in micro. And moving on to pathology. The pathology videos, I liked them, but sometimes I felt like they were just reading from the lecture notes. They didn't say anything extra. I'm the type of learner where I can remember what someone says in a class. So they didn't say anything out of this world. Like with micro, I had so much to remember. So many little mnemonics she would use, and I don't know. Pathology was just like reading from the lecture notes, so I don't know if it's worth it. My husband is currently listening to Golian audios, Dr. Golian, and there was a comment on my video from, I don't know how to pronounce this, Nisslschole, I guess Nissel Shoal, I don't know. And you asked whether or not my husband had already taken step one, and he has not. We had to start school again, so he is going to listen to Goljan now, and at the end of the year, he's going to take the test. So just to answer your question quickly, my husband says that the Golian audio is amazing and that he's learning so much more about pathology with those. So if you have the time, I would say listen to those. I did actually pretty well in pathology, and pathology is the bulk of the exam. So I didn't have time to do Golian and pathology. See, pathology is about here, which would correspond to this one. I didn't have time to watch all of this because of the baby, and so if I could go back, I guess I would do Golian audio. Then the next subject would be pharmacology. They're also very good, very complete. A little much for the board. They don't go into pharmacology too much in the exam, but so I felt like this was overkill. But they do go into like sympathetic nervous system or parasympathetic nervous system medications, like alpha blockers, beta blockers that you have to know up and down, and the basic stuff that we all know, like, tetracycline and causing staining of the teeth, or, I don't know, retinol being teratogenic, or things like that. Just basic things that we all know. Then physiology is really good. The fish. Everyone remembers the fish. He's awesome, and he is so animated, and it makes it fun. Sometimes he can get a bit annoying, in my opinion. Sometimes I was like, get on with it. But, I mean, he makes it fun. He makes physiology fun, and I really did learn from him. I also had a very good teacher here in medical school in physiology, so I felt like my base was good in physiology. So the good thing about the fish is that he really talks about the high yield topics, the things that are really important in his videos. And so what he says is what's on the test, really, like that, literally. So I did really good in physiology as well. I mean, not really good, but I mean, I was in the higher performance. It's the last one. Here. Whoop. And then, last but not least, I did not watch, the anatomy videos. I started watching the neuroanatomy, but I don't know, very boring. I just stopped watching it. I was out of time, actually. We did this from January to April 22nd, and it took us way too long. So, because we could only do 4 hours each a day, or 5 max. So, looking back in retrospect, I wish I had more time. I took too long to watch the videos, and so it made it boring. It came to a point that I was just sick of watching videos. I wish I had more time in my day. But then again, we had the baby, and so we had to do it this way. So for you med school students who don't have kids, or people who don't have children, it should be a little bit easier. Or if you have help from family, you should be able to watch all the videos in a shorter period of time, and you should be able to watch them all. My anatomy I did not do good in anatomy because of this, I would have to say. Gross anatomy and embryology. And also histology and cell biology was one of my lower ranking ones. I would have to say, looking back, it has to be because I didn't watch the videos. Another reason is that my base in anatomy was not good. Not that it wasn't good. I don't like anatomy. So, I know it's terrible. So, because I guess I don't like it, I didn't put as much into it and I focused on the other things. It's really hard to say now what would have happened if I would have watched the videos, because when I stopped watching the videos, I started doing USMLE World question bank. So it could be that if I would have watched the videos anyway, I would have done less U World, and that would have lowered my score. So I mean, it's hard to say, but like I said, you should be able to watch them all and do it in less time. If you do 8 hours a day or over 8 hours a day, if you can handle it. I personally, after 4 hours, was so tired of watching videos, but like I said, I had spent the whole morning with the baby, and so I was tired at that point too. I think if you try your hardest, you can do it, and if you do it in less time, then you won't get bored of watching. So I hope this review is good. No one posted questions, so if you have questions about this video, then post them in the bottom in the comments, and I'll try to answer them in my next video. My next video, I'm going to try to make it in the next few days, and if not, then the beginning of next week, is going to be on the USMLE World Question Bank and how I did that. So I'm going to give you just a shot at my USMLE Step 1 performance profile so you can see how I did on everything, including the by organ system. Hope you could see it there. Bye.